Hello and welcome to this ABRSM tutorial. This is grade 7. It's the new syllabus 2023-2024, hot off the press. It's the Martinů Allegretto. So I play this quite a bit faster than the composer's tempo marking, and I have put my own performance on YouTube. You can see the link above at the beginning of the video and at the end, and also below in the description. I just basically, my approach is the composer's metronome marking. It's not you have to do this to be correct and it's handed down on a stone tablet and this is what you must do. I just believe that the music, it's like a person and you get to know it. And it's almost like when you get to know it, you're trying to figure out what does it want to be, what's its character, what's its mood. And to me, I don't think I'd want to take it any slower than that, because I mean, you know, you have to ask yourself what you prefer. It's always about what you prefer. The goal of music is never, ever, ever, even when you are taking exams, the goal of music is never to be correct so that someone goes, you are doing it correctly, tick. That is never what music is about. Music is only ever about finding the most that we can love something. We are a good musician when we play with so much love that other people go, wow, I love so much what you're doing. And it will always be subjective. Now, yes, ABRSM exists to mark you playing exams, but that's only to have some idea of how you're doing. No one really in the world really has the power to go, this is good, this is bad. Although, you know, we can kind of do that. But anyway, so do you prefer, in fact, oh no, I can't do the metronome there, but do you prefer, and I'm trying to play it as nicely as I can, or do you prefer, whatever it is, sorry. I mean, it's just obviously so much nicer. So I think, you know, I'm doing a very difficult thing by putting up my own performances of pieces, and this is grade 7. You know, this is why ABRSM released their own official recordings, because in some ways it gives you guys something to aim towards. But at the same time, I think there's a real danger in that people then go, that's the correct way to do it, therefore I must play like that. And that's never the goal in music. So just bear in mind that for me, I play this fast because I love it more fast. Doesn't mean you have to play it fast. It's just how I like it. You can go. Now, just bear in mind, the slower you go, if you want this to be effective, you're going to have to be very staccato. You can be staccato by pulling with your fingers or by using your wrist. Using the wrist is harder. Or what I do, which is kind of both. The more staccato you can make it, the more effective it'll be slow. If you do this, it's not going to work. So be a stickler for all of the accents and articulations. Now, tenutos. So tenutos are notes that have like a straight line underneath them or above them. tenutos are really, really tricky to know exactly what to do with. So I noticed in a Facebook group I belong to for music teachers, I think, someone put a link up. In fact, I will find that link and I will put it in the description below, because it's quite a comprehensive description of what tenutos do. And so basically this description, it's incredibly paradoxical, and it says things that contradict each other. So to some people, a tenuto means, the dictionary definition to a lot of people of tenuto is hold the note for the full duration. So it would be like, in fact, I'm still doing it my way, which is not that, but so I'm going to try and properly hold it for the full duration. But to me, that makes no sense. If he wanted that, he'd have written a slur to make it legato. For me as a string player, when I see tenutos, I see notes that you imagine you dig in with the bow. So it would be like it's like a wah, da wah, da wah, and then you dig in after the beginning of the note. We can't do that with the piano. We have to kind of imagine it. But then another thing to me that it means is to make them slightly detached and emphasized, which is the opposite of the dictionary definition, which is to its full length. So it's a tricky one to know exactly what he wanted in the left hand when we get to bar 53, this thing. And there, because it's so difficult to do these detached, there I do just do this. But just bear in mind that tenutos are kind of they can cause a bit of controversy. I'll put a link in the description below. Do have a read of it to see what they are. But take note of the markings. So in the right hand, staccato, however you want to do these tenutos, to me, they're kind of, you lean into them. You want to lean in with your body. They're like, wah, you think with your body, wah. So the wah, wah, and then accent. So to make the accent, I come up, and really, because I've come up a lot and come down, and I try and do it accurately, accent, and I lean in to each one of those. So very, very staccato. No, let me do that again. And then make sure you do all the crescendos, because really, in many ways, there's probably not that much for me to say about this piece, because all you've got to do really is just follow the markings. It doesn't need a massive amount of musicality. You just need to keep it in time, like be really, really solidly as much as you can in time with it. If it says staccato, be really staccato. If it says accent, make it accented. If it says crescendo, crescendo, and you can't really go that wrong. You know, you just want to slowly build up all of the these odd time signatures. So like the 5/8 bar. And you know, if you just practice it slowly. And what I recommend that you do is you get used to tapping your foot and nodding on the first of the group. So it's what it is really, the 5/8. It's a group of 2 and then a group of 3. And you can see it by the way all the notes are grouped together. So we've got... And you know, so we've got... And if you can feel all this with your body, it's easy. It's super, super easy. But, you know, just build it up slowly. And what you might want to do is just take one bar. I'm going to take bar 17 and just loop it. You might want to do it slower. And like normally I wouldn't recommend to my students to tap their foot. But I think this is an absolutely fine piece to tap your foot to. To get to bar 25, I recommend that you use the fingering So in the third quaver of bar 24, and by the way, I recommend that you have the book open in front of you if you're learning the piece so that you can follow what I'm saying. So in bar 24, I recommend in the third quaver that you use 1 and 2 in the right hand. So whatever you've been using up until that moment, when you've got the accent on the C and the G, the third quaver of bar 24, use 1 and 2 in the right hand, so that you can immediately go to 3 on the B. And then I use in my left hand in bar 25, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3. And then you can get from, you can get into that bar pretty quickly without panicking too much. A lot of bar 25 onwards is just really about finding the right fingerings, the good fingerings, so that you don't have to look down and panic. Because I don't think the fingerings that ABRSM have supplied here are all that useful. You want to either get your teacher to help you or experiment, or get me as a teacher and I'll show you all the fingerings to put in. Bar 37, it's up to you how staccato you make this. Personally, I don't think it should be very, very staccato like in the beginning. I think to make it forte, strong, forte, it's not just a dynamic, it's a feeling. And, it's been a couple of days since I've done this. Rather than... I don't think that's the feel we're going for. We're going for something just a little bit rounder, a little bit stronger. So basically the way I've learnt these is I gave them the minimum possible practice until I could just about record them after a few goes. And these bars from 37 through to 53 were not that easy. for a grade 7 piece, they're quite hard. That's quite a hard passage to get under your fingers. And again, it's all about being really meticulous with the fingerings, particularly in the left hand. If you're really consistent with, I'm going from bar 37, if you're really consistent with these fingers, so that you don't need to look down, that makes it easier. The fingerings aren't too bad. And then when you get to bar 45, don't do what a lot of my students do, which is to play something like, so I'm just playing the left hand in bar 45. They would just make it look like this. And they would just play with their little finger and move their entire hand up to play the thumb. When I get there, so I'm going to go from the bar before, just over the page. What I do is I immediately stretch my hand out. Now, I can't actually stretch from the G to the B flat, but I kind of almost can. So from the moment that I've played the G, which is the last note in the left hand before bar 45, I immediately stretch my fingers out so I can almost stretch from the G to the B flat. And then I play like... And can you see how little I need to move my hand to get those? So yeah, don't just make your hand leap about. It's, stretch for those. It makes it less effort. This feels like effort to a lot of people, but I'd rather do that than jump my hand about. That's more effort. Anyway, so just make sure you practiced from bar 37 relaxed. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. Because if you're practicing like, oh my God, what's this note? What's this note? What's this? What's this? The moment you speed it up, you'll be like, ah, and you'll fall apart. This is quite stressful to play under pressure, that whole section. So make sure you're really relaxed, your shoulders feel relaxed when you're practicing all of this. Make sure from bar 49, it is really light and frothy. Blah, 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 etc., etc. I really like that bit, actually. So, yeah, it's just a case of make sure you've got good fingering. And there's just really not that much to it. You just have to do what's marked. Most classical music, most music in general, you can't just play what's marked and immediately be musical. But this, if you just play what's marked and play it reasonably, rhythmically, accurately, with some excitement, you're just going to nail it, really. I don't think there's an awful lot more to say about it. If you've got any more questions on it, please do leave some comments below, and all the usual YouTube blah blah blah. So if you liked this tutorial and it was useful for you, please press like, please subscribe, leave comments. I am available at the moment for online lessons. I love online lessons. And I have space for some more students at the moment if you like my teaching style. Do check out the review I've put up on Heart of the Piano of the new ABRSM syllabus. And so I'll leave you to go and do some practice now. Thank you very much for tuning into this tutorial. Goodbye. Thank you. Bye.